In today's video, we are going to be diving into Enzo Maresca's tactics for Chelsea and their win over Liverpool. Now, looking at the starting 11, it is quite surprising how they got all 3 points in this match because arguably with the injuries, with the suspensions that we had to go with a fairly young backline. Shield and Josh Achupong were our starting CBs, and yes, I understand they did get hurt later in this match, but they played absolutely phenomenal. On top of that, we saw Cucurella on the left side, Reece James as the right side. Kind of surprised with that, but it does make sense. We're going to talk about that a little bit in this video. Malagusta alongside Caicedo in the midfield, Enzo playing in the 10 due to the injury of Cole Palmer, and Garnacho on the left side, Neto on the right, and João Pedro right down the middle as our number 9. Now, I do want to break this down in defense first because really we had to play all these guys in this position because when we're looking at the injuries, Tosin being out, Fofana being out with a concussion, we didn't have any other options besides going with these two players, and that is why Reece James, I do believe, played as a right back and not into the midfield as much because Reece James, with his captaincy, with his ability to again dictate the back line, he helped out a lot more in this defensive area, more than we actually probably realized throughout this entire match. Cucurella, obviously, we always see him moving up into the pitch here for the most part, so that's not too surprising that as he moved up, Shield can drift this way, and we saw something along these lines. And yes, Malagusta was also pushing up, so at some points we were almost attacking with 5 across and 1 with João Pedro, with Caicedo holding here, and like I said, Malagusta would drop down, Cucurella would drop down as well, but we were definitely hitting them in different parts of the pitch, what made it very difficult for Liverpool to defend. On top of that, if I do drop this back a little bit, the other things that we were seeing throughout this entire match was Garnacho, who I do believe played phenomenal in this match. He was staying very wide and allowing plays to happen just right in this area because this allowed him to have more space between him and Connor Bradley. Because of this, it made it very difficult for Liverpool to defend because with the one-on-one here, Garnacho could drive the ball this way, he could go inside this way, or again go straight down depending where he picked the ball. This, like I said, made it difficult for Connor Bradley. On top of that, Bradley was pushing up into this area when they were attacking Liverpool, and therefore again it gave us plenty of space for us to ping the ball over the top to Garnacho, who did run to the ball multiple times. This is something that Liverpool obviously have struggled with all season long, not just on the right side, but even on the left side with Kirkis, and we also did this with Neto. So over time and time again, we were just pinging the ball over the top to break them out on the outside because we were locking everything up in this midfield area with our overloading with these players. It made it very difficult for anything to happen for Liverpool down the middle of the midfield, and this is why we were able to dictate that area. Because of that, even when we saw McAllister come in, Gravenberch in the midfield, and even Zoboslai, when they were trying to do anything in this area and try to play the ball with each other, they just couldn't do anything. We were man marking them. Caicedo was on someone, Enzo Fernandez was on someone, and even Malagusta was on someone. This made it very difficult for Liverpool to do anything in this area, so they were constantly trying to play the ball. They were trying to overload out on the wings here with Connor Bradley or again Kirkis in these areas, but like I said, this then allowed us to attack in those areas. That all being said, too, we do need to look at the midfield and actually how we scored that first goal because take nothing away from it, it was a phenomenal goal by Moise Caicedo, and it really did happen because of a few different things here. Now, when they were defending this area, obviously Zoboslai was kind of pressing higher up into this area, but what we could see in this match here, though, was anytime they were doing that, Malagusta could definitely play in certain positions, and like I said, when he was pushing a little bit higher up, he was able to find, again, Caicedo right in this position. Now, obviously, McAllister had to make a chance here and almost go for a tackle. When he did and he missed his opportunity, Caicedo was able to dribble forward. He takes that fake shot, which again gives him plenty of space. João Pedro, though, is also driving towards the goal. This is why Virgil van Dijk has to keep backing up. This is why Konate have to keep backing up because if they don't follow him, Caicedo could have easily played the ball into João Pedro, which would have been a one-on-one. But in fact, they kept dropping, allowing Caicedo to really eventually have a shot from right here and take nothing away because it was an absolute phenomenal shot. I don't think most people were expecting that, but once it left his foot, you just saw how it just directly went far post. Keeper did get a hand onto it, but just wasn't strong enough for the most part. And overall, from that point, Chelsea were in the driver's seat. Now, yes, I understand Liverpool still had their chances. They did score a goal in the second half, but because of this goal, it really allowed us to continue to man mark anyone in Liverpool's side. So every time they were trying to do anything, I'm just going to throw a few players out here, not that they have names or anything, we constantly were tracking with them. Josh Achupong, anytime Isak went back to drop into the midfield, Achupong went forward with him. Therefore, Battlefield had to keep this line here. Cucurella was also holding this area with Salah. Anytime Mohamed Salah had the ball, he really couldn't do anything. Even if he tried drifting in, he had a few opportunities, he had a few shots, but they were all wide of the mark. He seemed like he wasn't having a very good day, and I'm surprised for how long he did play. I would have thought that maybe they would take him out and tried something different. Florian Wirtz obviously came in, didn't do too much, had a few different flicks here and there. And yes, I understand, again, they did score a goal, but like I said, it was one of those almost fluke goals, which is hard to say for Liverpool because they have been scoring at will almost beginning of the season up until now. But overall, Chelsea were very good defensively wise. And then we made our substitutions at the end of this match. And yes, it definitely paid off for Enzo Maresca. These were some huge changes, by the way, because we brought on fresh legs. We saw Esteval, who again found the back net in the last couple of seconds in this match. But again, take nothing away from Cucurella. Enzo Fernandez also playing the ball to him. Again, these guys all just understand how to keep going and being just this repetitive over and over and over and hit him until the whistle's blown. And because of that, this was a game that Chelsea really went all out until the final whistle. I do believe Liverpool kind of gave up at the end of this match, and it showed. Liverpool, again, dropping points in the final couple of minutes in another match is a massive blow for them. Obviously, this is a big take for Chelsea, though. 3 points going to international break. They'll be more than happy to get that result, obviously, over Liverpool, and this may have been one of the biggest ones we've had all season. It almost reminded me of when we beat PSG because both teams, again, have been champions of their divisions or their leagues themselves, and the fact that Liverpool again had been faltering a little bit, this was the best time for Chelsea to hit them, and we hit them well and got all 3 points. So overall, I'm very happy with this. Coming back for international break, we should have a fuller, healthier squad. I don't know if Cole Palmer will be back in this position to play the number 10 position, but overall, Chelsea have been playing good, and I am kind of curious to see what happens in the next handful of matches. If you enjoyed this video, I greatly appreciate if you do hit the like button, subscribe down below, and I will see you in the next video.